if I'm on all three. Here today for the Mad Max Mad Minute, we're going to talk a little bit about alcohol, your use of alcohol, and how it may impact your children or your relationship with your children, right? We'll be talking about some key factors on that and some key contributing ideas and like some things that you may not think of and how it's going to impact your children, right, if you're using alcohol. So that's something that I have personal experience with. So I recently, within the last 11 months, got sober. That was January 1st of this year. The reason I did so was I woke up on New Year's Day, hungover, and my kids wanted to play, and I could not play. I couldn't keep up with them. I couldn't shake it. I couldn't wake up. So for that reason, I've been sober for 11 months now, minus one mistake. So on May 5th, when I gave up command, I had a drink, just because it was a difficult day. It's a little bit different, right? But that's not an excuse. I'm not saying you can't use alcohol. I'm just saying for me personally, I can't use alcohol, right? I think it's okay in moderation, but I have difficulty moderating anything in my life. So, that being said, we'll go ahead and get started. Hey, but before we get rolling into all this, if you're watching this live, go ahead and drop me a comment below and let me know. Say, yep, I was here watching it live. That way I can go back through and I can say thank you right now. Hey, what's up, Ike? If you're watching this on replay, go ahead and hit me with the hashtag replay. That way I can say thank you from the bottom of my heart. All right, so today's topic, your use of alcohol and how it impacts your children, right? So your kids are watching everything that you do. So I have a question to pose to you. Especially those of you that are parents out there. So how many of you that are parents are out there remember your parents using alcohol around you? How many of you that are parents out there remember your parents having a few beers, or a few margaritas, or a few glasses of wine, some mommy juice, some dad soda, whatever the hell they would call it, right? How many of y'all remember that? I do. I remember a couple different things about it. One, I remember it being prevalent throughout my teenage years. Alcohol being everywhere. That's the first thing I remember. Second thing I remember is that my dad would use it, and when he used it, he would act really tough, right? So he'd either pour himself some margaritas on the rocks, or he'd drink a bunch of beers, and he'd act really tough when he was drinking. And so, like, as a teenage boy, I thought, is that what a man does? Does a man drink alcohol like that? Does that make him a man? Does that make him tough? And he would say things like, oh, I had a hard day at work, or, there's just a lot going on with the family, and stuff like that. So I said, in the back of my head, I said, okay, so when things are hard, he drinks alcohol. But then he would also do it when we were on vacation. Weird. So then he'd do it for fun, too. Weird. I remember my mom would drink wine, and sometimes she would drink wine all day long. And those times, quite often, were like when she was in her own, because she owned her own business. So when she was in her own office, she would drink wine all day long. And I remember having to come pick her up from school. So I'd leave from the school, get a friend to drop me off, and I had to grab her truck and drive her home. So how many of y'all have had something like that happen to you? Do you think that has an effect on you? I think it did. I think it had an effect on me. I think that's part of the reason why. As soon as I turned 20 or 19, I think I started drinking alcohol. I think it was when I was 20 I was able to do it legally because I was at the time married to a woman who was older than me, and she could buy me alcohol. Yeah, and I used it all the time. Not proud of it, right? Here very recently, we had our oldest daughter. She's 6 now, so within the last 7 years we had our oldest daughter. Because she's 6 going on 7. And, for a long time I still used alcohol. And I blamed a lot of the things that were wrong with her medical issues on myself or on God or on other things, right? And I would use and abuse alcohol. And I started to think, is this making anything better? It's fucking not. It's not making anything better, right? So that's key to know. It's key to know. Your use of alcohol is not going to make anything better. The children are watching you. So there's a couple things that happen, right? So let's talk about the couple things that happen. Number one is you're not able to be mentally and emotionally present in the moment, right? Because you're buzzed or you're hungover. You're either buzzed or hungover or on your way to one of those two states if you're using alcohol. especially if you're using it in excess. You're either one of those two states, either you're buzzed or you're hungover, or you're transitioning between the two. So you're never in a clear mental state. That's the first thing. Second thing is you're going to miss out on stuff that your kids need you for. They need those hugs. They need those cuddles. They need those bedtime stories. They need you to have a clear mind whenever you're talking to them, because they don't have clear minds because they're children and you're not. So there's something else to consider, right? Another thing to consider is those kids are watching you, right? Those kids are watching you. You set the fucking example. So you have to think about it this way, right? You have to think about it this way. Do you want your kid to understand that that's how you deal with anger, stress, or emotion? It's by drinking alcohol. Do you want your kid to think that that's the only way to do it, so that when they grow up, that's the way that they need to do it? Or do you want to teach them you deal with stress and anger by talking about your emotions, by doing some deep breathing exercises, by working out, by journaling, by reading, by talking to friends, by talking to a therapist? Now, I know there's different feelings out there on therapy, but like, hey, which one's better? Really? Which one's better? Going to talk to a therapist for 30 minutes a week, or drinking a fucking 18-pack over a weekend? Which one's better? Good question, right? Something to think about, y'all. And then last but not least, like, your overall health, like the use of your alcohol and the hard use of alcohol and the abuse of alcohol is going to have a hard impact on your overall health. You're going to be fat, right? Alcohol causes fat retention. It plummets testosterone production, and it makes it very hard for you to eat cleanly, right? It makes you more likely to eat junk food, so you're going to be fat. And then with being obese and having poor hormone production comes other health problems too. You're going to be out of shape. You won't be able to keep up with your kids. You won't be able to play with them, and then that relationship's going to be busted. It's going to be hurting. These are all things to think about. Just some stuff I wanted to talk about with y'all today. If y'all thought this was useful, go ahead and drop me a comment below. Are you drinking too much alcohol? Let me know what you think. If you think you are, go ahead and comment that below too. I'm not here to judge, because I've been down this road. I've been down this road myself, so I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm here to help. So if you think you could use some help, let's talk. Love y'all. Take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you later.